Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's begin with some words of welcome. How good it is to be together on this day. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achi gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achi gam yachad. Let's do that again. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achi gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Repeat after me. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet
How
it
sweet it
is to be together on this day. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet
How
it
sweet it
is
is
to be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet
How
it
sweet it
is
is
to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleikum. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
As I look out at your faces in our beautiful tent, the words that come to mind are Matovu halecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. How goodly, Matovu, how goodly are your tents, O Jacob. Your dwelling places. Let's sing a Matovu. Quick, can we do
Should
that?
we sing a little
I
bit
think
of
we should sing
Matovu?
some
All
Matovu.
right. If you know it, you're going to sing loud and proud because there are no slides for this since this is spontaneous. Here we go. Matovu, ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael.
Matovu halecha.
Matovu, ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael.
You know what we haven't done in a very long time?
What have we not done in a very long time?
Look around you. In front of you, next to you, behind you. If you see someone you don't recognize, say Shabbat Shalom. Just say hello and introduce yourselves.
Shabbat
Say Shalom. Introduce yourselves. Shabbat Shalom, Nick. Good to
Hi,
see you.
Nick.
Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes. Very good. Good to see you, Nick. Have a seat. So I'm Rabbi Joe Black. I am one of the rabbis here, and next to me is?
Cantor Liz Sachs. I am one of the cantors here.
Well, one of the singers, cantors. You're the cantor. Well, you don't want to. That's true. That's true. Very good.
That was a fun little thing you just did there.
I know. I'll just keep moving on here. So, why don't we continue with candle blessings? Cantor, do you want to invite up our blessers?
I would love to invite up our blessers. Tomorrow morning, Aaron Bell is going to become bar mitzvah. And so, in honor of that amazing experience, Aaron and his family, Amy and David and Jake, are going to come and help us kindle our Shabbat lights. Come on up.
Come on up. Watch the chords, watch the chords.
All right, you're going to go over to the table with the
Right
hurricane
here.
candles.
Who wants to?
This is the final bar
And I'll
mitzvah
give this to
challenge.
you.
Can you
Do
light
you know
the
how to use this?
candles
You push it.
outside in the wind?
Okay, right over here. Just light them. Good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Mazel tov. You guys can go sit down. Yeah, I'll take that from you. Thank you. You're welcome. Shabbat is the place where time and space meet. Without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends, Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest. Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come.
Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Zamru l'Adonai b'chinor, b'chinor v'kol zimra. Och chatzot v'kol shofar. Harir lifnei hamelech Adonai. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yerom hayom teval ve'yosheva ne'orot yimcha yachad harim yeranenu. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai.
Last week was Parashat Shlach Lecha, and those who went to Torah study know that the word Lecha has a very powerful meaning. It means to go forth, but it also means to go within. And this next prayer, Lecha Dodi, which can mean, come, let's go, my beloved. Let's go and greet Shabbat. Let's come and sit under this beautiful tent where the air cools us and protects us from the sun, and we see the beautiful faces of our congregation. Come, let us go within. Let us go and celebrate Shabbat. Let us revel in the ability to be together, to rejoice in this beautiful, beautiful moment in time, this beautiful place, in this beautiful congregation.
Lecha Dodi
לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבורך, תשמענו אל המלחד, אדוני אחד, שמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתחילה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה.
לקראת שבת נחוג עיניך, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקרב לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה.
לך דודי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורף ומאורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך ניכר. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה.
We rise as we are able, as we welcome Shabbat into our tent. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה,
בואי חלה,
turn back around.
לך דודי, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. 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 worship Baruch Hu.
We remain standing. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai,
Join with me. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Good. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator, continue. Creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai ha-ma'ariv aravi.
Avad olam beit Yisrael amcha hafta. We are loved
by unending
love and unending love.
Ahavat
olam beit Yisrael amcha hafta. We are loved by
unending
love and unending love.
love beyond all space and time. Your love enfolds your people Israel. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. Together. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up, and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love. For you are blessed, the one who loves your people Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Avad olam beit Yisrael amcha hafta. We are loved by unending love and unending love. Avad olam עמך אהבת. We are loved, loved, loved by unending love and unending love. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You may be seated. We chant together. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
The Israelites walked into the Reed Sea 1 foot at a time. What were they thinking about as the water rose up their legs, chilling their hearts, advancing toward their open mouths? Together, we continue to walk here and now, 1 foot at a time, on our better days forward. Alone, I cannot reach the far shore without drowning. Somehow I don't go under. The person to my right holds me up. Something I cannot see holds him up. Together. Blessed is the source of help. So often I step forward. The sea is vast together. Blessed are you, gracious one, for your miracles that greet us every day.
Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehila, oseh feleh, nora tehila, oseh feleh. Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Adonai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehila, oseh feleh, nora tehila, oseh feleh. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
God, thank you for joy and delight, for wonder and awe, for moments of gladness and celebration. Together, grant me the ability to breathe gentleness into my hours and seasons, so that I live awake to beauty, to holiness, to the radiance that surrounds us. Grant me the wisdom to arrive each day with passion and humor, with song and dance, with smiling eyes together, in service to myself, in service to others, in service to your holy name.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. וקורא עונג וקורא עונג. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. עם מקדשי מקדשי שבי. כולם ישמחו ויתענגו מטובך. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. וקורא עונג וקורא עונג. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. והשביעי רצית בו, רצית בו וקידשתו. חרדת ימים אותו קראת, זכר למעשה בראשית. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת. וקורא עונג Shomere Shabbat, Shomere Shabbat. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will.
We rise as we are able for tefillah. Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Adonai Svatai Tiftach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We take a moment now, before we move into our own prayers of our hearts, to think about those in our lives who are in need of God's blessing of healing, of hope. I'll be reading a list of names of members of our congregation and our community who are in need of healing. But if there are others whose names are not on this list, I ask that as we move from this side of our Ohel Moed, our tent of meeting, to this, that if there's a name you want to say it. Say it out loud. If you're watching at home, and if you're on Facebook, write the name in the chat or say it so that all of us might ask for God's healing blessing on their behalf. Shabbat, we are mindful of Zachary Hoffman, David Karner, David Lustig, David Goldenberg, Stuart Myers, Catherine Plus, Jean Silber, Scott Englander, Elaine Wolf, Stacy Hoffman, Corey Franklin, Brian John Miller, Phyllis Schulman, Eric Dellenbach, Becky Mitchell, Sam Ryder, Arthur Rosenblum, Jeffrey Karras, Hal Malin, Tommy Anderson, Sandra Cook, Jim Esteby, James Tepper, Shanti Chazan, Jenny Brynan, Howard Rosenberg, Deborah Alenikoff, Alex Buznavetsky, Ellie Greenberg, Lori Goldman, Randy Velick, Jamie Eidelberg, Larry Ambrose, Mike Kabuti, Ashley Faye Perlman, Laura Culver, Sylvia Goodman, Jerry Luckton, and Becca Green. Are there other names that are not on this list? Baruch atah Adonai mekor harefuah. Praise you, Adonai, the source of healing. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Take a few moments now and move away from others' words and find those prayers imprinted in our hearts as we look within there to find God, and we pray in silence.
ועל כל ישראל,
ועל כל ישראל,
ואימרו, ואימרו,
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
You know, I realize when we do these services in person, we stand a lot more than we do at home. Those of you at home, enjoy. Enjoy. Well, this week's Torah portion that we're going to learn about from our bar mitzvah tomorrow morning, and a Torah study from Steve Brodsky at services from Steve Brodsky, is Parashat Korach. And Korach is all about power. Korach, we're told, is a chief of the Levites who challenges Moses and Aaron's authority, and he is a classic demagogue. His rebellion makes us uncomfortable. Like any other demagogue, he uses half-truths and insinuations to draw his followers in. He says to Moses, he says to them, Rav lachem, it's too much. You take too much on yourselves. For all this community is holy, and God is in their midst. Why do you raise yourself up from the community of God? Then they go on to complain about how Moses and Aaron led them, listen, from a land flowing with milk and honey to the wilderness. Not to a land flowing with milk and honey, but from a land that is barren, from Egypt, which is plenty, to the wilderness, to die in the wilderness. In other words, Korach uses emotional imagery and false nostalgia to sway the people to come to his side. It was so good in the past, he and his followers say. Then Moses and Aaron ruined everything by talking about freedom and human rights. They think they know everything. But we need to do what we can to bring ourselves back to what we once were. And in the end, of course, there's a big showdown, and God causes the earth to open up and swallow Korach and his rebellious followers. Well, you'd think this would be the end of the story. It's, after all, a very powerful, gory, exciting story. Perfect for a bar mitzvah boy. That's for you. After the absolute defeat and destruction of Korach and his followers, the people continue to rebel and complain against Moses. You see, Korach seduced his followers by feeding them a distorted vision of their own world, provoking them in a way that suited his desires and thwarted their own, ultimately resulting in their own destruction. Our traditional commentators ask, how is it possible to conceive that the people who had been redeemed from slavery, from whom the waves of the Red Sea had parted, who'd received the Torah at Sinai amidst thunders and lightnings, led by a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night over the Ohel Moed, the tent of meeting. I think we should call this the Ohel Moed. I really, really want to do that. How is it conceivable, even after the earth swallowed up Korach, that people who directly experienced such miracles could succumb to the guile and the abuse and the demagoguery of one such as Korach? Well, it's not as complicated as one might imagine. You see, we have a tendency to hear what we want to hear, to believe what we want to believe, and disregard the truth, even if it is paraded right in front of us. These past 16 months of dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic has given rise to a great deal of misinformation and falsehood around multiple areas, from election fraud conspiracy theories to anti-vax fear-mongering, from anti-Semitism parading as political speech from both the far right and from the far left, to the use of Nazi imagery to portray everything from Zionism to vaccination. We have seen how demagoguery and misinformation can be deadly. What we witnessed in our nation's capital on January 6th is an extreme result of how others' need for power can impact an entire nation. People hear what they want to hear. We know this. In this day of selective information gathering and broadcasting, when fake news becomes a catch-all for discarding uncomfortable realities, we have the means to disregard the data that doesn't fit our own unique, selected perspectives of the world around us. And yet, there are times when the truth breaks through and forces most of us to confront a new reality, sometimes kicking and screaming. But when we have no other option, we open a portal of acceptance that changes how we see the world. But unfortunately, some people can never see that, can never allow themselves to change, can never comprehend the fact that their bubble has burst. And when details get in the way of dogma, there are those who feel the need to dig in their heels and deny the truth. You see, the legacy of Korach is strong and growing stronger. But there are two sides of the Korach story. There's the rebellion, and then there's God's response to it. You see, after Korach and his followers are destroyed, literally swallowed up by the earth, God tells Moses to take the rebels' fire pans and melt them into copper sheets. And these copper sheets are used to cover the altar upon which the priests will offer sacrifices. Think about this for a second. The very tools that the rebels used to fight against Moses and even God are placed on the altar, the holiest place, and placed only where the priests are going to see them and not the people. Wouldn't it have been better to place them in the center of the encampments of the Israelites as a warning to the people to show what would happen to rebels if they disobeyed? Well, Ibn Ezra, a 12th century Jewish commentator, explains that the hammered pans are not only a warning to the people, but to the leaders themselves. They are also a sign, a teaching to the leaders of the community to remember the need to be truthful and transparent. Those copper pans that were melted down and placed on the holiest of the holiest of the holy, those pans are a reminder that they shouldn't allow their own desires and lust for power to turn them into Korach, because I believe all of us have a little bit of Korach in us. And it also teaches that a rebellion in and of itself is not always a sin, because sometimes it is essential when a community perceives their leadership as not understanding or advocating for their people's self-interest. There are times when it is a mitzvah to speak truth to power. And when we call out the misinformation that is poisoning the minds of millions, when we shed light on corruption and pursue justice, we are combating the Korachs among us. Now, rebellion in and of itself is not always evil or wrong. Indeed, our very nation was founded upon it. But this week's Parsha calls us to examine the motivations and potential repercussions of when and why and how we rebel. Is it for ourselves? Is it for those who wish to manipulate us? Or is it for the greater good of society? So this week's Parsha, Korach, is a cautionary tale. It teaches us to examine the ways in which moral outrage can be hijacked by political expediency and personal greed. But it also teaches us the proper way to challenge our leadership and to question their motivation and their message. The ultimate irony is that Korach's complex legacy inspires us to be rebels with a cause, namely creating God's holiness in our world. Ken yehi ratzon, may it be so soon. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom. Yasher koach.
Thank you.
We continue with Aleinu. We rise as we are able. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, lateit gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and every nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. And as we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On the Shabbat, we remember Irving J. Fritz Friedland, Sidney Ways, and Roger Lewis, who were taken from us this past week. And we link to their names those who were taken from us during the previous 30 days: Michael Altenberg, Lillian Camarillo, and Charles Zandel. We remember those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of whose death, occurs on this Shabbat: Louis Adler, Josephine Rose Alpert, Bernard H. Baum, Norman E. Berman, William Bromberg, Ethel May Brown, Kathleen Cohen, Albert L. Kramer, Emma Connor, Robert John Crane, Warren G. Epstein, Leona G. Frankel, Dr. Robert R. Galen, Hannah Gilinski, Al Glick, William Goldberg, Goldie H. Goldstein, Marilyn Schwab Gordon, Amy F. Greenbaum, Rose Gross, Hortense I. Haschenbusch, Nathan J. Hattenbach, Greta Lou Horwitz, Annette W. Hyatt, Emmeline Carson, Louis Katchen, Dorothy Morris Cates, Harvey Louis Katz, Rose D. Kortz, Lavetta B. Crone, Regina Lehrberger, Anna Mintz Levine, Mikhail Lesser, Max Morris, Sarah Morris, Etta Pellish, Miriam R. Pepper, Brett W. Perlmutter, Richard Philippi, Julian G. Pollack, Ralph Bell, Patricia Rothman, Maurice M. Schwab, Harold Shapiro, Violet Siegel, Sam Silver, Fred Silverberg, Martha Stark, Benjamin M. Steinberg, Ida Tobias, Louis M. Tucker, Janet Twersky, Louis B. Weinstein, Lainey Ringler Woodall, Ben Wilensky, Mildred G. Wilner, Harry A. Winter, Robert Zinn, Elaine Teichert Zone, and Anna R. Zwetow. And as is our custom, we also remember 10 of the 420 precious souls from the community of Kolin who perished in the Shoah, with whom we are linked through our Kolin Chapel and our Kolin Sefer Torah. Oskar Arnstein, Pavel Arnstein, Anna Arnstinova, Dr. František Asherman, Anna Bashova, Marta Baurova, Alfred Beck, Arnost Beck, Petr Beck, and Anna Bekova. Are there other names for whom Kaddish is being said on this Shabbat? At this time, I ask if you have lost a loved one in the past 30 days to please rise now as you are able, either physically or spiritually if you are at home. If you are still in the 11-month period of mourning since the loss of a loved one, please rise now as you are able. And if you are observing a yahrzeit, the anniversary of a death on the Shabbat, please rise now as you are able. And as is our custom, in solidarity with those who are standing, let us all rise as we say words that have been passed down midor ledor, from generation to generation, words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divrah chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shmei dekud shabrichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. And may the one who creates harmony on high and bring peace to us and to all Israel. And let us say, Amen.
And let us say, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, and let us say, Amen. So Shabbat Shalom. We're going to ask you to remain standing for just a teeny tiny bit longer as we do a couple of quick announcements and then move into Kiddush and Motzi and the end of our service this evening. So, tomorrow, Shabbat continues at 9:30 a.m. with Torah study by Steve Brodsky, and at 11 a.m. with the community service, also by Steve Brodsky. It's going to be an amazing morning, but I hear that there might be a truly fascinating Devar Torah at the community service by the president of our congregation. So make sure to tune in for that. No pressure.
Raise your hand, Danny. Raise your hand.
Right, exactly.
We'll talk.
Right. So that will all be here if you have registered, and also streamed to our website on Channel 1, and also to our regular Temple Emanuel Denver Facebook page. Also, tomorrow, 9 a.m. is the Bat Mitzvah of Lila Reed, woohoo, which will happen right here at 9 a.m. Will be streamed on our website to Channel 2 and on our Temple Emanuel Denver B'nai Mitzvah Facebook page. And then at 11:30, we have the Bar Mitzvah of Aaron Bell. Also, woohoo! And that will also be streamed to Channel 2 and to our Temple Emanuel Denver B'nai Mitzvah Facebook page. Speaking of Shabbat and all the wonderful things that we do here, we continue to have Shabbat in person, which is very, very exciting.
Awesome.
Just to know that throughout the summer, registration will continue. We will be communicating with you as our numbers slowly increase over the course of the summer. You are indeed welcome to sign up to come every week. So you can indeed come every week. You still must sign up to come every week, but please do. We enjoy seeing you all as frequently as possible. And as we have said many times before, we'll be continuing to review our reopening policies throughout the summer. Just a note that at the moment we are no longer doing weekly Havdalah virtually, but that's something that we'll be talking about more as we move into the fall. One other quick announcement, especially for this group, we are bringing back and kind of rejuvenating Melton Adult Education Curriculum. It's a really amazing way to learn a lot. It's a special curriculum, national curriculum. It begins June 30th here with a 6-week class called Members of the Tribe, taught by Rabbi Mark Gittler. I actually have absolutely no idea what that is about, so if you want to know what Members of the Tribe means, you should definitely look on our website, call or email us during the week, or just come. Register and come and find out what that 6-week course is. Rabbi Gittler is a really gifted teacher. He is a community rabbi, and we are very lucky to have him teaching here. Everything else, check out all of our events on our website and our Facebook page. We did, to our congregation, send out an announcement about High Holy Days this past week. Believe it or not, they are coming.
Very soon.
Very soon. They are Labor Day weekend this year, so it is basically tomorrow.
Yeah.
So just pay attention that we will be sending out some more information toward the end of June with exactly what that is going to look like. And now, it is my pleasure to invite Aaron back up one more time. Come here. To help us with Kiddush. So we remain standing as we bless Shabbat. Are you ready? You
Come
get
over
this
here, Aaron.
one. You can stand right there. Be in the middle. I'll come stand with you. Go ahead. You hold this. Yeah, very good. Okay, here we go. No worries. It's grape juice.
Higher. No, not yet. No. Hold it up. There we go.
We still have to bless it first, though.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uratzon, hinechalta.
As high as you can.
Super high.
Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh Shabbat. Clink with Cantor.
Amen.
Take a sip.
There we go. And now
Put it
we
back on the
are
table.
going to say Hamotzi.
Now
Rabbi,
you'll-
could you do the
I would love to
dramatic?
say, now look
Here
at
we
these
go. Teeny tiny
teeny
challah.
tiny challahs.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. You can go
You
take
go
a
down,
seat.
just don't spill the grape
Yeah,
juice.
there you go. There you go. Very, very nice. I know
So
that makes
before our
us really
closing
nervous.
song, Cantor, can everybody turn around and just wave at the camera?
Yes,
to all the
let's say
people?
hello to all
Say
of
hello
our
to our
friends.
people who are watching online.
Hello.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Good to see you.
shalom.
Good to be seen. Okay.
Yeah. All right, we conclude our service this evening with words of song, with words of joy. You know, I said this last week on Shabbat morning. We sing this song a lot, usually at the end of every bar mitzvah. But it's been a long time since the words, "Let us all sing together," actually meant something. So, Hava Nashira, let us all sing together, loudly and proudly. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. 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 Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei kol dorotenu, our God, and the God of every generation, the God of those in this tent, and all the mishkanim, all the ohalim, all the tents and gathering places that people come together. We thank you for the gift of community. We thank you for the ability to learn, to listen, to grow, to protest, and to wake up to a world in which we see each other, not with masks on our faces, but truly with smiles on our faces like we do right now. We ask your blessing on this holy congregation to all who are with us, whether actually or online. We say, Bruchim hayini b'voenu, Bruchim nihiyeh b'tzeitenu. Blessed were we in coming here. Blessed may we be as we go forth for this time and always. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom,
shalom.
everybody. Shabbat shalom.